Intuition is a subtle yet profoundly powerful aspect of human consciousness. It often operates quietly beneath the surface of our everyday awareness, guiding our decisions and perceptions long before our rational mind catches up. In many moments of life, you may have sensed that something was true, even when all external signs suggested otherwise. This inner knowing is not a fanciful feeling, but a product of the mind's ability to perceive patterns, detect subtle cues, and process emotional undercurrents that are too complex for immediate conscious recognition. When someone eventually confesses a truth that aligns with your intuition, it is not a coincidence. Your inner awareness has been quietly observing, gathering evidence from expressions, tone, and behavior that your conscious mind could not yet fully interpret. The arrival of a confession confirms that your psyche's subtle signals were accurate, reminding you that intuition is a vital compass in navigating human relationships and life's uncertainties. The process of intuition is often misunderstood because it does not present itself in the form of logical evidence. It is a silent guide, often ignored because the human mind favors clear, tangible proof. Many dismiss intuitive feelings as paranoia, overreaction, or imagination, and yet, when reality finally aligns with these early impressions, the discrepancy between instinct and observation becomes undeniable. This dynamic highlights an essential truth about human perception. Our minds can apprehend realities that are not immediately visible, and these perceptions are stored quietly until circumstances reveal their accuracy. Recognizing this prepares us to respond with patience rather than surprise when confessions emerge. Intuition is not about being psychic. It is about being attuned to subtleties that exist in social interactions, emotional expression, and personal behavior. These subtle cues are processed continuously, and the eventual confirmation serves as proof that inner awareness is reliable when cultivated with attention and reflection. The arrival of a confession is also a moment of psychological reconciliation. It bridges the gap between inner knowing and external reality, resolving tension that has been building silently within the mind. Often, there is an internal struggle when suspicion exists but cannot be confirmed. The mind oscillates between hope, denial, and curiosity, creating a psychological friction that can be unsettling. When the confession occurs, it validates the inner struggle, providing clarity and closure. This is not merely about being proven right. It is about acknowledging the mind's capacity to perceive truth in complex human behavior. By understanding the mechanisms of intuition and its confirmation through confession, individuals can cultivate a deeper trust in themselves. They learn that inner signals are not arbitrary, but are informed by subconscious observation, pattern recognition, and emotional intelligence. This understanding encourages confidence, patience, and a more harmonious engagement with others. Ultimately, intuition and its eventual confirmation through confession are reminders of the profound, often hidden depth of human perception. They teach that life's truths frequently arrive in their own time, and that our inner awareness is both a guide and a companion, helping navigate the uncertainties of human interaction and the complexities of personal experience. Confession often emerges as the natural result of inner tension and psychological pressure. Human beings possess an inherent drive toward balance and wholeness, and hiding the truth creates a subtle but persistent internal discomfort. When a person conceals something significant, their mind and emotions carry the weight of guilt, shame, or fear of consequence, which grows heavier over time. Eventually, the need for relief surpasses the fear of exposure, prompting a confession. This moment is not spontaneous. It is the culmination of an internal process where conscience and awareness demand acknowledgement. Understanding this dynamic allows the listener to approach confession with empathy rather than immediate judgment, recognizing that it represents a struggle toward honesty. When someone confirms what intuition already suspected, it demonstrates the alignment between external reality and the silent, vigilant observation of the psyche. The confession is, in essence, an act of psychological release, a step toward restoring integrity and re-establishing balance within both the confessor and those affected by the hidden truth. By seeing it in this light, one can engage with the revelation thoughtfully and with compassion. The psychological motivation behind confession is often tied to an unconscious desire for reconciliation. When a person confesses, they are seeking to resolve internal conflict, repair damaged relationships, or relieve the anxiety of concealment. They are motivated by an instinctive understanding that the truth, when hidden, cannot remain dormant without causing harm either to themselves or to others. This recognition is crucial because it underscores the idea that confession is not merely a social act, but a psychological necessity. The internal burden created by secrecy compels action once it reaches a tipping point, often resulting in honesty that aligns perfectly with what others have sensed intuitively. For the recipient of the confession, this is a moment that validates their inner perceptions, but it also serves as an invitation to recognize the fragility and complexity of human behavior. People act according to a mixture of motives, emotions, and pressures, and confession reflects the interplay of these forces when equilibrium is restored. Understanding the confessor's psychological state allows for a more measured response, reducing the tendency for reactive judgment and promoting emotional clarity. When intuition is confirmed by confession, it illuminates the interplay between perception and reality. The mind that has been quietly aware of discrepancies experiences a sense of resolution when evidence aligns with inner knowing. The moment of confession can evoke relief, sadness, or even a quiet sense of vindication, but its deeper significance lies in demonstrating the human need for balance. Concealment disrupts the natural flow of honesty, and confession restores it, alleviating internal tension for both the confessor and the observer. By approaching these moments with awareness, individuals strengthen their understanding of human psychology and the processes that drive behavior. They learn to appreciate the nuanced reasons behind why truth is delayed and recognize the courage it takes for someone to confront their own conscience. Confession becomes a reminder that inner awareness and perception are valid, and that patience and reflection are necessary to navigate the subtle dynamics of trust, honesty, and personal integrity. It teaches that truth, when eventually revealed, serves not only justice, but also the restoration of emotional equilibrium. The confirmation of intuition through another person's confession often marks a pivotal moment in personal growth and self-awareness. When suspicions or feelings of knowing are proven true, it provides an opportunity to examine not only the external reality, but also the internal landscape that perceived it. The human psyche grows stronger when it can integrate experience with perception, transforming what could have been a moment of shock into a lesson in discernment. This growth is not instantaneous. It unfolds gradually as individuals reflect on how their inner awareness functioned and how it guided them even before explicit evidence appeared. By observing how intuition anticipated reality, a person can develop a deeper confidence in their judgment, learning to trust the subtle cues that often go unnoticed. These cues, expressions, tone, hesitation, and emotional shifts, are all part of the silent communication the psyche registers. Recognizing their validity nurtures both emotional intelligence and psychological resilience, equipping individuals to navigate future uncertainties with greater clarity and less dependence on external validation. This confirmation also invites reflection on emotional responses and boundaries. The revelation of truth may bring feelings of relief, disappointment, or even quiet satisfaction, but these emotions serve as indicators of personal values and expectations. By examining the emotional impact of the confession, individuals can better understand their own needs, limits, and areas where trust must be safeguarded. It is a moment to ask oneself why certain suspicions existed, how they were communicated internally, and how they might inform future interactions. Instead of reacting impulsively or allowing resentment to dominate, individuals are encouraged to approach the situation with awareness, using it as a mirror to evaluate their own responses and decision-making processes. This reflection strengthens emotional maturity and helps prevent repetitive patterns of misjudgment or misplaced trust. In this way, the confirmation of intuition is both a personal validation and a catalyst for conscious growth, emphasizing the interplay between perception, emotion, and experience. Finally, the arrival of confession opens a door to constructive choice and transformation. Once the truth is revealed, the individual is no longer bound by uncertainty and can engage with reality on conscious terms. The focus shifts from speculation to deliberate action. Whether it is fostering forgiveness, setting new boundaries, or simply understanding the complexities of human behavior. This process underscores a fundamental lesson about personal evolution. The mind and heart are not merely reactive, but are capable of learning from subtle signals and translating them into meaningful change. By integrating the insights gained from both intuition and confirmation, individuals strengthen their self-trust and enhance their capacity for discernment. The experience demonstrates that while life presents unexpected revelations, these moments are opportunities for reflection, growth, and the refinement of inner perception. Ultimately, confirmation of intuition through confession becomes a transformative experience, guiding one toward deeper understanding, emotional clarity, and a more resilient engagement with the world. Many people struggle to acknowledge their own intuition because it often points to uncomfortable truths that challenge their sense of harmony and security. Human beings naturally prefer stability and reassurance over the tension that suspicion or doubt can bring. When a subtle feeling warns that something is amiss, the mind may attempt to suppress it, reasoning that hope or trust is safer than confronting a potential reality. This avoidance, however, can create internal conflict, as the unconscious mind continues to register evidence, emotions, and behavioral inconsistencies that the conscious mind resists acknowledging. Over time, this tension accumulates, creating a silent psychological pressure that cannot be ignored indefinitely. Confession from another person, when it finally arrives, breaks through this tension and brings hidden truths into the open. The moment is significant, not only for the validation it provides, but also because it highlights the courage required to confront what we would rather ignore. Recognizing why intuition is often dismissed allows individuals to develop a greater sensitivity to their inner signals, learning to observe them without fear or self-judgment. Intuition, when ignored, is not diminished. It is merely deferred until circumstances force recognition. Many people experience an internal dialogue of denial and hope, telling themselves that their suspicions are unfounded or that the situation will resolve itself naturally. This suppression of inner awareness is a defense mechanism aimed at preserving emotional comfort, yet it does not erase the silent perception that has already taken root. The eventual arrival of confession is therefore not an arbitrary event, but the natural culmination of forces that have been in motion all along. By understanding this, one can approach the revelation with preparedness and composure, recognizing that the psyche has long been aware of what the conscious mind hesitated to accept. Trusting intuition does not mean abandoning reason. Rather, it means acknowledging that perception operates on multiple levels simultaneously. Observing these layers and the patterns they form allows individuals to navigate human interactions with greater clarity and less susceptibility to surprise or emotional turbulence. When a confession aligns with intuition, it also becomes an opportunity to cultivate patience and emotional discipline. The mind that has been aware, even partially, has had time to adjust to the possibility of truth, making the impact of revelation more manageable. By reflecting on why certain suspicions were initially ignored or resisted, individuals can learn important lessons about their own tendencies, limits, and emotional triggers. This awareness encourages a more thoughtful approach to relationships and situations, where decisions are guided by perception and reflection rather than impulse. The confirmation of intuition, therefore, is not only a validation of inner knowing, but also a reminder of the importance of attentiveness and courage in facing uncomfortable realities. Learning to observe, trust, and respond to intuition strengthens psychological resilience, allowing one to engage with life and human behavior in a measured and insightful way. The confirmation of intuition through another person's confession often brings a complex mix of emotions, including relief, sadness, or even quiet clarity. When a truth that has long been sensed internally is finally spoken aloud, the experience is rarely shocking in its entirety, because the psyche has been gradually preparing for it. Intuition functions as an early warning system, silently observing inconsistencies in behavior, subtle emotional cues, or patterns that indicate a hidden reality. When the confession arrives, it does not create truth. It simply illuminates what has already existed in perception. This alignment between inner knowing and external acknowledgement allows the mind to release the tension that arises from uncertainty. It is a moment of resolution, not confrontation, in which the emotional weight of speculation and doubt gives way to clarity. By understanding this, individuals can respond to confession not with reactive judgment, but with measured reflection, using the experience to strengthen emotional resilience and insight. Recognizing that intuition has long been at work prepares the mind to engage with the situation thoughtfully rather than being swept away by immediate reactions. Emotional intelligence plays a key role in how one experiences confirmation of intuition. People often expect confessions to provoke anger or disappointment, yet when one has already sensed the truth, the emotional impact can be more nuanced. There may be relief that uncertainty has ended, sadness for the circumstances, or even an unexpected sense of calm as the mind reconciles inner knowing with external reality. Observing these emotions rather than being dominated by them is an essential skill, as it allows a person to process the revelation without undermining judgment or self-control. The arrival of confession becomes a mirror, reflecting both the confessor's motives and the observer's capacity for awareness. By paying attention to one's emotional response, an individual can understand personal boundaries, values, and expectations more clearly. This reflection is critical for responding appropriately, whether the path forward involves forgiveness, caution, or renewed understanding. The alignment of intuition and confession offers a rare opportunity to practice self-mastery in the midst of emotionally charged circumstances. Ultimately, the confirmation of intuition through confession is a chance to cultivate insight and perspective. It demonstrates the subtle power of perception and the value of trusting inner awareness, even when circumstances seem ambiguous. By recognizing that one's intuition has long been gathering evidence and processing information below the level of conscious thought, an individual can develop confidence in their perceptive abilities. This process encourages patience, discernment, and thoughtful engagement with relationships and life situations. Rather than focusing solely on the actions of others, it emphasizes personal growth and psychological strength. The confirmation of intuition is not merely a moment of external revelation. It is an opportunity to deepen understanding of human behavior, refine emotional intelligence, and cultivate resilience. By embracing this insight, one can navigate future experiences with a clearer sense of awareness and a more grounded approach to truth and perception. Confession reveals the complexity of human behavior, reminding us that people are rarely entirely right or entirely wrong in their actions. Every individual operates within a web of motivations, fears, and unconscious influences that shape decisions and behaviors. When someone comes forward with a confession that confirms intuition, it provides a unique opportunity to witness the layers of intention and emotion that underlie human action. Understanding this complexity encourages a balanced perspective, one that avoids extremes of judgment and embraces nuance. People often act against their own values, not out of malice, but due to internal conflict, stress, or fear of consequences. Recognizing this allows the observer to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. The confirmation of intuition is therefore not solely a matter of truth being revealed, but also a lesson in human psychology. It demonstrates that behavior is rarely linear or simplistic, and that compassion and discernment are essential tools when engaging with others. By appreciating the underlying factors behind actions, one gains insight into motives, patterns, and the reasons why truth is sometimes delayed or concealed. This understanding fosters empathy while maintaining clarity and boundaries. A confession that aligns with intuition challenges the observer to navigate between forgiveness and self-protection, between understanding and accountability. Human beings are fallible, and recognizing the internal struggles that drive behavior allows one to approach confession with perspective rather than immediate condemnation. The goal is not to excuse actions, but to integrate awareness of human complexity into decision-making. When intuition is confirmed, it provides evidence that perception is reliable, yet it also emphasizes the importance of measured response. Emotional reactions must be tempered by reflection and insight, acknowledging that every person's actions are influenced by circumstances and internal pressures. This balance between empathy and discernment ensures that relationships can be evaluated with wisdom, allowing for constructive action rather than reactive emotional responses. The confirmation of intuition through confession ultimately reinforces the need for clarity in boundaries and expectations. It illustrates that while people can make mistakes, honesty and accountability are necessary for psychological and relational equilibrium. By observing both the motivations behind the confession and the impact on oneself, individuals can develop a more sophisticated understanding of human interaction. This awareness strengthens emotional intelligence, teaching how to respond to truth with composure, resilience, and insight. Confession is not only a revelation of facts, but also a demonstration of human vulnerability and the intricate interplay between perception, conscience, and behavior. It serves as a reminder that people act in shades of gray, and understanding those nuances equips the observer to navigate future interactions with both caution and compassion. The confirmation of intuition through another person's confession often restores a sense of personal power and self-trust. When uncertainty has lingered in the mind, doubts can create feelings of vulnerability, leaving one second-guessing judgments and perceptions. The arrival of a confession that aligns with intuition validates the inner voice, demonstrating that perception and awareness are reliable guides. This restoration of confidence is crucial, as it allows individuals to reclaim authority over their emotional and psychological space. Trust in oneself grows stronger, reducing susceptibility to manipulation, confusion, or repeated misunderstandings. The experience teaches that the mind and heart are capable of detecting truth, even when external evidence is incomplete. By recognizing and honoring this inner guidance, individuals strengthen their ability to make decisions grounded in both perception and reason. The confirmation of intuition, therefore, becomes more than a moment of validation. It is an opportunity to reinforce self-reliance, build emotional resilience, and cultivate a sense of inner authority that informs future interactions with clarity and discernment. This restoration of personal power also emphasizes the importance of boundaries and discernment in human relationships. When intuition has been confirmed, it clarifies the limits of trust, highlighting where careful observation and judgment are necessary. The experience encourages reflection on how inner signals have been received in the past and how they can guide future choices. By acknowledging the accuracy of intuition, individuals are better prepared to navigate interactions with others without being overly reactive or overly naive. This moment of confirmation fosters a balance between empathy for the confessor and preservation of one's own psychological space. The awareness that inner perception is dependable empowers individuals to approach future situations with confidence, using insight to discern when to act, when to observe, and when to maintain distance. It also underscores the value of cultivating attentiveness to subtle cues, emotional undercurrents, and behavioral patterns that often precede explicit truth. Ultimately, the experience of confirmation through confession becomes a transformative moment that strengthens both self-awareness and psychological resilience. It demonstrates that intuition is not merely an abstract feeling, but a practical tool that reflects the mind's capacity to perceive hidden realities. The event reinforces trust in one's judgment, encourages thoughtful boundary setting, and promotes emotional stability. By integrating this awareness into daily life, individuals become more capable of navigating complex human interactions with clarity and composure. The restoration of personal power is not about asserting control over others, but about reclaiming confidence in one's own perception and decision-making. When intuition is honored and validated, it empowers individuals to engage with the world more deliberately, to act with insight, and to cultivate relationships rooted in understanding, discernment, and mutual respect. The arrival of a confession that confirms intuition often signals a moment of closure and the beginning of transformation. Until the truth is revealed, the mind exists in a state of uncertainty, oscillating between suspicion, hope, and doubt. This ambiguity can create emotional strain, leaving one unsure how to act or feel. When confession finally arrives, it removes the veil of uncertainty and allows conscious awareness to fully engage with reality. The clarity that follows provides an opportunity to evaluate the situation deliberately, making choices that reflect understanding rather than reactive emotion. The confirmation of intuition transforms a period of speculation into a stage of conscious decision-making, enabling individuals to move forward with purpose. This moment emphasizes that life often brings truths in its own time, and patience combined with inner attentiveness is necessary to navigate the unfolding of events. The revelation becomes a doorway to self-reflection, learning, and the conscious shaping of one's path forward. Once the truth is revealed, the individual can use the confirmation of intuition to foster personal growth and emotional resilience. The experience highlights the mind's ability to perceive subtle cues and patterns, reinforcing trust in inner perception. By examining the psychological and emotional dynamics of both the confessor and oneself, one can gain insight into human behavior and the complexity of decision-making. It encourages a measured response that balances empathy, discernment, and self-protection. The confirmation of intuition also invites reflection on boundaries and values, prompting an evaluation